Are we recording?
We are recording right
yeah.
now. What's going on, guys? This is another episode of the Jerks Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Carsky, with my co-host, Dylan Mahler, and Dan McCarty.
Come on.
We have a returning guest, David Donnick, baby.
Yeah, what's up? I busted out the short shorts. It's full thigh.
I'm so jealous.
Full thigh season.
We did put you in the middle and give you as much space as possible to man spread.
You're welcome for that ball shot.
This was intense. Happy Father's Day.
Yes,
Yeah.
happy Father's
I forgot
Day.
about Father's
I
Day.
feel like after
Me
watching
too,
David
'cause
tonight,
mine's
there's going to
dead.
be a few more fathers out there.
Oh, yeah.
People are just
These
going to get so
shorts?
hot and bothered.
Uh-huh.
They're
It
going
do
to
be
have
like
to
that. How's the audience? Yeah.
Yeah.
have a live audience.
But the short
you have a
shorts,
button?
you wear
Yeah.
shorts on stage?
Yeah, dude, Jerry Seinfeld said no shorts on stage. He knows,
Ever.
Well,
he knows how to dress.
Thank God this isn't a stage.
He's like,
He has
no,
pants for the set.
Yeah.
It isn't a stage
I got my
proper.
stand-up
Yeah.
jeans.
Adam,
I
I'm
do.
sorry,
What's up,
bro.
dude?
What's up?
what's going on?
Hella hydrated. You know we have water here, right? Listen to.
Every time this man walks in a building, he looks like he's on cocaine
Uh-huh.
in some
Well, he is.
capacity.
I was going to say, yeah, you're not far off.
God.
Yep.
Maybe, dude, you're in
Last
the
night.
suburbs. Don't you know they do heroin now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
They love heroin around these parts.
So,
The rich kids. They
haven't
get
tried
daddy's
it.
money.
Have you tried? Now, this isn't even worth going down this rabbit hole, but how have you been? It's been,
Heroin.
since we've seen you last, what are some new things?
I don't know. Like, what was it? 3 months ago you saw me, probably?
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm good. I'm on summer break now.
pregnant.
So I am
Nice.
pregnant.
Shame.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I just graduated high school. I feel good. Go Rams. No, man,
my favorite
I've been
team.
doing a lot of the same. It's weird. I've been reading more. I've been on my Hawkeye shit.
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
finished
Read those books.
Thank you, dude. My goal, did you just remembered you can't read?
No, I'm just like, fuck, I should read.
Dude, I gave up reading.
Uh-huh.
I was like,
Really?
this isn't going to help me anymore.
So I made a goal to like read 4 books this summer, and I've plowed through 2 of these books already.
Wow.
But
All
then,
right, name names.
all right, so I read The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. That was really good. It was really, honestly, the whole time I was reading this book, it just felt like a dad giving me financial advice, which was like so good because my dad's dead. So I was like, oh,
Nice.
dude.
Same, dude.
I was like, oh,
Nice.
Father's
the
Day.
How
last,
did yours die?
dude, a heart attack. Yeah,
Mine was
Wow.
cancer.
Dude.
It hurts more. I win.
Damn.
We had to live with that longer. All right.
that's crazy.
Nice.
I think Danny's dad died of lung cancer, too, so we're kind of
Wow.
battling.
Shout
for
out
whose hurts
Danny.
more.
I don't know where he's at.
Shout out his dad, who's
Yeah.
My
shout
dad
out-
is alive. Long live
Yeah.
the king.
Yeah,
Well,
my dad's doing great.
Yeah, keep rubbing it in, guys.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, we had Father's Day. That's just a day off for
I
us.
was gonna say,
You guys had to do shit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I played video games, dude. I killed so many Nazis online. It was awesome.
You gotta go back and kill Hitler.
Yeah. So that was the first book. The second book I finished.
well, I was gonna say it sounds like it's been on every required reading that I've received for when you get a sales job. They're like, you got to
Yeah.
read these books.
The
And
Simple
it's like
a
Path
job
of
Simple
Wealth.
Path
Yeah.
to Wealth. Jobs giving
Jobs
you
have
book
been
reports.
like,
Yeah.
here's the summer report.
Yeah.
We want you to do a book.
They're just like, if you want to succeed, you gotta read books,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah,
then
dude.
they give you shit called like the
Don't-
Simple Path to Wealth, and then you're like, oh my god, I could be a millionaire tomorrow. How come I'm
Well,
not already?
The book was actually really nice because in the
Coffee.
first like 2 pages.
What was it called again?
The Simple Path to Wealth. So
Oh,
in the
okay.
first like 2 pages,
thought you were
it's so
joking.
no, it's so simple. No, in the first like 2
Make
pages.
a book called Simple Path to Wealth and then sell it.
I'm
That's
sorry.
how you become
I'm
rich.
the guest. Can you stop interrupting?
Rich
My
dad, poor
thoughts?
dad,
Plug the
Living
book.
dad, dead dad.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Rich
Oh,
dad,
that
poor
was
dad,
good.
dead dad.
Hey,
I didn't see that
Bing,
coming at all. I thought we
bing.
were going to bond over books. And then it's
Yeah.
just, it was a singer, you know?
First of all, I'm tired of talking about this book. The second book.
Next book.
I just finished it like 2 days ago, maybe a day ago. It's called The Alchemist
That's
by
a good
I
one.
forget the name, but yeah, it's super old. I mean, the whole
Say, it
premise.
sounds like an Edgar Allan Poe or
It
something.
kind of is. The real vibe is just like this just young boy from like Moorish Spain, and he's like, I don't know, trying to follow his dreams or some weird shit, and he does, but then he also gets robbed like 3 times, and like every time he gets robbed in the book, it's the funniest thing on the planet to me. Like reading it, the first time he
again?
gets robbed, he like crosses into Morocco, and he's like in this town, and he's like all boyishly like excited. He's like, I sold all my sheep, and now I'm gonna go on an adventure. And this dude sits next to him. He's like, "What's you up to, kid?" Which like immediate red flag. But he was like, I'm going to the pyramids. And the guy, he was like, do you have money to get to the pyramids? And he was like, I think so. And then he pulls out this like bag of gold. And this dude looks at this bag of gold. He goes, that's not enough money for the pyramids.
No.
And then he just takes the gold and leaves them.
That's what I would have done.
No.
It was
Nowadays.
insane. Yeah, the second time he like loses money because he like pays to like save his life, and then the third time he literally gets to like, this is a spoiler, but you guys can't read, so
No.
I was gonna spark note.
He
Spoiler
gets-
for The Alchemist
he, like-
coming up.
he reaches where he's going, and then he just gets the shit beat out of him, dude. And he literally digs his own grave, and that like gives basically like this like shitty like gold disc to these people who beat him up. And each time I was like, this kid, man,
It's kind of
It's
a
like
lesson.
you think you learn his lesson,
Uh-huh.
right?
yeah,
You don't chase wealth.
don't chase it.
No.
You
What
guys
was the
got
third
something
book?
from that. All I was thinking was like, at any point you could have just closed that book and been like, this doesn't matter. This isn't real.
I don't know how to
I've
make
read one
gold.
fiction book. Well, the goal is important.
It's a fake story.
It is a fake story. See, I have such a
About a
problem with that.
leprechaun.
I'm such a boring person.
Yeah.
I'm like, this movie, not real.
Actually, the prelude or the prologue of the book is the author talking about he's Brazilian, so he's like writing about how he's like, yeah, I wrote this book like 25 years ago and no one bought it for 24 years.
Wow.
And then he's like, I made the 25th anniversary edition and it sold out like crazy.
Nice.
They're like, well, it's been around for 25 years. It's got to be
Yeah,
good.
it's like reading a book is like drinking whiskey. You just gotta like wait, let it age, you know.
I'm gonna try
Whoa.
like a 1 year anniversary of a joke that didn't work or something, or like
Yeah.
That would
just make
actually
it
be
special.
hilarious.
Yeah,
I actually was just reading old jokes to my girlfriend. Sorry, they were so not funny.
we're gonna figure out how to make
New
them
ones where you're
work.
They were not
no, these
funny.
are old. These
No.
are all old.
It was literally like halfway through saying it, I saw her face and I was like, I don't have to finish that sentence. That's okay.
Like, you know what? I agree with you. Right? You know,
Yeah.
I was a different man back then.
I'm like, this should have stayed in 2019.
How long have you guys been dating for you to run bits past her?
Oh wow. I think we reconnected in like August, so I guess like a full school year.
Nice.
Okay.
So it's like you
No,
could have.
I thought I was gonna get that answer. One school year.
Well, we're both teachers, so
we
like,
met at recess.
okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I wouldn't
On the
expect
playground.
anything else. I was
yeah.
What was-
Actually, it was so stupid. On the way here, we were like driving on 290, and this dude in this like giant red like truck like peeked out his window and like looked at her and I in the car, but he was like clearly checking her out, and I felt like so emasculated. I was like, hold up, let me dude up, and I like one-handed the steering wheel and like grabbed the stick shift and then like zoomed past him.
You gotta
Wait, you
do all
drive
the
you drive manual?
symbolic.
No, it's automatic, but I
but he grabbed it and went.
yeah, I made
No,
it
that's
look,
more manly.
I put it
think
into sport
He
mode.
said, "Vroom."
that's cooler.
You slick back your hair and then put it into fourth.
My hair's already slicked back,
It's
so
like, listen,
halfway
pal,
there.
you can't break this bond that was forged in 4th period English
What?
class
No.
and 6th period study hall, okay?
What kind of car do you drive?
It's a 2021 Hyundai Ioniq.
Ooh,
So
just
when he
the
looks at it, does he
number.
go, never mind?
Yeah,
It's
he
gonna-
basically
it's gonna fuck me up if you try
it's
with
one of
one
those.
hand.
It's one of those cars when it goes by, you're like, did it pass me? It's a hybrid. I love it, dude. I get like 60 miles to the gallon. It's so good.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's baller.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
it's not-
nice.
it's
I
not
need to
bad.
know these other 2 books that I'm not reading. What was the third one?
I haven't finished it yet. It's called The Artist's Way. By I wish I could remember these authors' names. I need to look it, but I haven't started it yet. It's really cool. I guess it's like an interactive book to try to like figure out your creative voice and stuff.
It's like a choose your own
That's cool.
adventure for creativity.
Yeah, kind of. My friend is one of my best friends is a poet in New York, and he recommended it to me because I kind of hit like a writer's block like 2 months ago. So I'm excited to kind of crack it open. And the last one, I couldn't even tell you the title of it. I grabbed it at a bookstore. It looks sci-fi. It looks interesting. So
Still
we'll see.
cool.
It's
You,
but it's like 400 pages. So I'm like, I don't know about that.
You got this, David.
You read any
Thanks, Dan.
Bukowski?
Bukowski.
Since you said poetry and shit?
Isn't that a Japanese like category of?
No, that's Bukkake.
No, that's Bukowski. Very similar.
Charles Bukowski is like an author
alcoholic,
from the 70s. He's
misogynist.
like just a massive misogynist, alcoholic. And knows most of the time, like every English major goes through a Bukowski phase in college, and they're all just like, I'm just gonna drink whiskey and be abusive to my girlfriend
That's
for
so
a
true.
while.
I don't think I did because I was.
I'm gonna emulate him.
I was
I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna write a a bunch of poetry, and
Yeah,
it's gonna
dude.
be like,
Well, because it is kind of romantic to get drunk and be like, no, it's writing time.
It is.
Cigarette.
You know, I actually had a dude. So I took a creative writing class in college, and we would write poetry. And there was this dude who was such a Hemingway wannabe, man. He literally would walk in every day with like a camouflage backpack. He was like an ex-marine, like
Nice.
super like clean cut, and like all of his poetry was like, at night I stand and I look at the drip of water as it falls down the glass of whiskey, and I'm like, shut up, dude. Go like have sex.
Doesn't rhyme, bro.
It was so dumb. And then I
It's
would
not
come
even a
in.
good haiku.
My poems were like hilarious because I was a communication
be?
major. They were so funny, and like Dan knows my poetry. It's like kind of okay, and like
I have heard his poetry.
I would
beautiful.
read it. I would read it
it's
out
more
loud.
than kind of okay. It's better than that.
Yeah, he was on
Yeah, do
Poetry
some-
and
drop some
Punchline.
poetry.
Yeah, shout out poetry and punchlines. Is that show over? Did that end?
Yeah, it's dead.
I'm sorry.
But it
may
was
come back.
dope.
It
It was
may come
cool.
back. You know,
It had,
may
a,
come
it had a
back.
great run though, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, for like February to June, February through May.
Yeah, and it was
like-
once a week too.
It was once a week. It was fucking exhausting to do
Yeah.
every week.
I was gonna say, not everything should last forever.
It was a 10 p.m. Thursday night showcase where our biggest audience was like 8 people.
Yeah,
I
I
would be
I
tired.
brought the 2 audience
Yeah.
members on the show that I
I'd
did.
say-
Which, by the way, I had no idea they were coming, and I was like, I have fans.
Hell yeah.
That was crazy.
It was our final show. We had 3+1s, right? So like comics brought people, and then we had 2 paying customers.
Get out of town.
I did my set. I did the host set, and I'm watching the 2 paying the whole time, and they're not digging me at all. And then the whole room was great except for those 2. And then
Except for the people who wanted
then-
to be
and
there.
then-
Paying customers there.
And then the second comic went up, crushed it. They weren't enjoying it at all. The third comic, after the third comic, the only paying customers got up and left. And I was like, oh boy. You know, it still was a good show. You were there.
Yeah.
Dylan was there.
Were you the third comic?
I might have been.
He was the second comic.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It was the second comic.
That's funny.
Hell yeah. I was the most
It
booked
wasn't
comic.
the comics walking them. It was just these people. They were like, I was like, how'd you hear about the show? They're like, we just Googled something to do. And they're like on a date. And
You
then,
know, that show would be good like once a month, probably.
that's what we are. It's secret stuff. We are
it up.
in talks with the IO Theater.
Oh, that'd be
Ooh.
about
literally
doing a once a month showcase.
Hell yeah.
awesome. IO
Nice.
is such a better space, and they're trying to actually build out IO into something like more interesting. Because it was shut down for a long time, you know. So it's got this weird thing where it was really, really like popular and influential as like a industry, and then it faded. So now they're trying to, I think, claw back to that in some capacity. You know,
Well,
Actually,
on top of
remember,
the lockdown, there was a whole bunch of like, a bunch of like racist accusations.
oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
really?
Like,
yeah.
like people, like they were telling like black actors, like, oh, you gotta like cut your hair if you want to play this part, shit like that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like,
Whoa.
Last night
you
at
don't cut a black person's hair, okay?
yeah. And so they were, and I believe rightly so, held to these things, and so I think it's under new ownership as well.
It is new ownership, and they also have a
ownership.
whole like diversity and inclusion panel too. My friend Mark Heath, shout out Mark. He is
Yeah,
on.
shout out Mark.
He is on the panel. He is, I think, maybe one of the few people. I don't know actually who else is on the panel, but he's like one of the guys who's like, hey, we should like care about black people, and he goes, I care about black people because I am a black person.
That's funny.
Like, I have a great idea.
Yeah.
Last night at a comedy bar, like like Adam was trying to get on the list, and he like talked to the host, and the host was like, I need a person of color, but so like my grandpa was black or something, and I think the guy believed it, but it was
work?
just like, yeah, he got on, so he probably believed Adam, but. It was just kind of like, damn, for a place that like cares so much about like, no, you know, like absolute diversity. It's like they really care about your skin color, or they really care about your gender. These places. But I was wondering what the Second City class you took was like. That writing one.
Yeah, I took a sketch. It was basically Sketch 101 for Second City, and it was like it was just a writing class. Basically.
Oh, did you
So they
finish
would-
that now?
Yeah, that was only like 6 weeks long.
Oh, okay,
It was
okay.
a lot of fun though. I did write some sketches that I'm like, oh, these are like good. You know,
Yeah.
like they're funny. And so it's just kind of like going over the basics, how to format stuff. So it was very basic stuff, but then basically every week they're like, all right, here, write a sketch. And then you would write a sketch, like a couple of pages, and then come in the next class, and everybody, the first half of classes, you would read the sketch. So you would put it out, oh, you're doing this role, you're doing that role, you're doing that role. And then so as, the writer, you write it out, and then you just give it to people who are seeing it for the first time. And you're like, all right, let's see if it reads well.
How many people were comedians?
There was one girl who's been doing comedy for a little bit, but I've never seen her out and about.
Yeah.
She's
There's
in the
always
city.
one of those.
And then there's a couple people, a lot of sketch people, a lot of improv people, but they were all from out of town. Like most of them were like, I've been in Chicago for like 3 months.
Yeah,
shit
I
like
can see
that. Like
that.
just moved to town and
Yeah, I just actually met. Oh, I wish I could remember her name. I hate blanking on people's names like that. But I just met her last night at Sedgwick Stop. She's been doing comedy for like 10 years, but she was in New York for a very long time, and she came back to Chicago because of a bunch of like reasons, and she's taking a class at Second City, at the Lincoln Lodge, and I was like, you've been doing comedy for 10 years. Why are you taking a class though? You know what I mean? And I think a lot of it is like when you come into a new space, you need something to establish that like routine for yourself,
definitely
'Cause
helps.
After the pandemic, like my best friend Mike and I, we took a comedy class at the Lincoln Lodge too with Chris Higgins, and that was
nice.
great because it was just like a really great like rinse and repeat for like 6 weeks of like go once a week, bring new material, write it out, act it out, like hone it, right, get feedback, give feedback, right.
Yeah, that's structure.
and really get into that like good routine, which is nice.
Yeah.
So I think that's why a lot of people kind of do that, and it's
That's
good to
cool.
meet new people that way
It was great
too.
to meet people, and like again, like there was one day like 5 of them came out to poetry and
Yeah.
punchlines, and so
Wow.
everybody's like, oh, somebody's having a show, let's go support
That's
them.
cool.
And so it was cool just to kind of now I have like this network of people that I know there, and but basically once my schedule is available, once I have the time, I will be taking another like the next class. I
Hell
would
yeah.
definitely recommend it
Nice.
if you want to.
I did
get
the
into
stand-up
writing.
class at Second City like 7 years ago.
Oh yeah, before they shut it down.
They shut it down.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I want
Well,
to
dude,
take
they
Khalil's
fired-
comedy
Well, I mean,
class.
look at what they fucking produced.
I
I'm the
know.
only one. I'm the only one out of all of the people there that kept
Still
going.
Well, do you know why they shut that down?
Because it sucked.
It sucked, and I forget the woman's name, but there was this woman who would basically do all of the booking for Second City in terms of like stand-up acts in that room that they had.
Oh, that's so
and they
biased.
fired her because they thought they could save money and book people themselves, but they didn't realize that they were paying for her access and like network to the industry.
Yeah,
True.
So
They
she
don't
would
know
She
anybody.
would be literally booking people who can pull like 1,000-seat theaters
Oh,
into the
yeah.
Second City, and they were like, we know these people, and then like obviously it did not work.
Yeah,
you
and then
know?
they're like,
That's
"Hey,
crazy.
Dan and David, you guys could pull a crowd, right?" And we're like, we'll do
Yeah,
our best.
absolutely,
I'll
Dad.
post it on my Instagram.
for sure.
How many comps
Yeah.
do
I
I
got
get?
25 views on my Instagram
Yeah.
story. I think they're
I
gonna
was
come.
like, I'm at 1,100
Must be
followers
nice.
now. I'm a somebody.
I swear, like every time I've done like an improv something, like it's like there's always like one guy like saying that he does stand up, and then it's like, no, I've never seen you at a mic, but it's like it's not like I've been around forever, but I don't know,
but
it's
like,
just
I
funny.
mean, I feel like you're one of those guys. Even though you do live in the suburbs, you get around to like enough mics within the city to like
Yeah.
get a vibe or a
Don't you
sense.
I think
I
you live in
feel
the
like I
city.
hit. Yeah, I live in the city now, but
Yeah. Oh,
I come back and forth. But I feel like I don't know. There's like the crowd at like Sedgwick Stop, like
Right.
and Beer Belly kind of,
Yeah.
and then
I'd never
my
go to Beer
buddies-
Belly ever. No,
I gotta
it-
hit that again.
Uh-huh.
I've only done that one time.
I went like once, and the list was so long, and it's also on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna be out this late. Like, I don't want to.
Is that
right?
Mondays?
That's Thursdays.
Thursdays. Yeah.
Thursdays.
But still, like I've been going to like comedy bar more and like.
I need to get to comedy bar
yeah.
more. I keep saying that I need to get there more, but then every time I go there, I'm like, it's a fucking bucket mic and it's a
Yeah.
slog, you know,
won,
and
like,
you
a
gotta pay for
couple-
parking. And I'm like, I don't even go to the Laugh Factory open mic anymore
Uh-huh.
because it's like, yeah, it's also a bucket mic, and like, yeah, that's more fair. But I'm also like, I mean, it's at fucking 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, dude, I gotta be up tomorrow. You know, like all the other mics that I go to during the week. At least I'm home at a okay time to go to work in the morning. You know,
Yeah, that's tough. How early do you get up?
I gotta.
My mics.
For during the school year, I gotta be up at like 6 to get to work, and then now that it's summer school, I have to be up at 7, so I gotta be at work at like 8. You know.
Damn boy. but then you're running bits on the students, and they have no idea. They're so dumb.
You know,
idiots.
I've tried that like once or twice to like do a joke in front of the kids, and they just like look at me because they're not even like, they're so like out of it. They're like, what are you saying right now? And I'm like, you're right. This has nothing to do with like, you know, analyzing this image. My bad. Sorry. Yeah, I'm like, you guys don't like my opinions on, I don't know, air mattresses.
I want to take that Red Room comedy class. You learn how to.
I like to imagine you're up in front of the class. You're like, so you know, my students, they always try and sell me pot.
My kids, they're good salesmen.
Yeah, they're great salesmen.
Just like, Mr. Donnick, what are you talking about? Why?
I like that voice.
That's our
Mr.
secret.
Donnick.
That's so funny. Someone gave me a really nice compliment the other day about my act, and they were like, I love that you do like actual character voices for your students.
I was thinking like those could like I could see those like doing I don't know like how many like posted, but I feel like I could see a lot of people like being into that. Like everyone's gone to school. And it just kind of like has a good like.
They're doing okay. Like I have one clip. It has like my goal for every clip is like at least get to hit like 1,000 views on it on Instagram. That's like the thing I care about the most. And I know that like through social media, there's always going to be a rate of diminishing returns. Like for those people who have like million follower Instagram accounts, right? They get a lot of views on their stuff, but that's because their stuff is reposted just more often. So it catches the algorithm more quickly. When you hit somewhere like 10,000 followers or like 15,000 followers on Instagram, the amount of views that you're actually getting on the things you post is like a tenth or like 1% of your actual follower count because of the way that the algorithm kind of distributes
They definitely don't show it to 100% of your followers.
No.
Yeah,
That's weird.
So for me, I'm like, okay, if I have 1,000 followers and I get 1,000 views on it, that's like 1,000. You know, that's a 100%. You know,
Most views
view rate.
I just know this for YouTube, but it's probably the same for everywhere else. Most views come from people who like aren't following or subscribe. So
so
it's gonna be random people.
But
It is hard. It's random, and it's like you just gotta have like a pop. You know what I mean? Like my videos popped up in one of my friends who works in the suburbs kids algorithm on TikTok. Yeah. So I was like, oh my god, and I think it's because I just like hang out with them. So like I see.
I wouldn't say it's like about popping. I would say it's just more about like consistently growing it like slowly.
True, it is. I mean, the Roast Battle guys have been doing a great job at growing that Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, they have so much content in the first place, but they also have a great team to like chop it all up and put it out, and they're really consistent. They're like, dude. I was talking to them the other day. They are like 4 months behind or something, or 4 weeks behind on posting.
Oh wow!
So,
yeah,
like that much
they
back.
can't keep up.
I feel that.
Like we're in June, you know, and they're posting like the semifinals of like the tournament in March right now. So they're like super ahead.
No, but that's cool to see how much like they pretty much pack the room every time it seems like, and I like a lot of the comics that they like put up all the time, and they're getting better at roasting. It seems like.
It's cool
and
that they expanded to SNF too.
Yeah,
like, that's so dope.
Yeah, dude. Shout out Harold. He won his first roast.
Did
little
he?
boy.
Who was he battling?
He roasted James Najjar. Yeah,
nice.
and I was like, I hope Harold wins. And Harold crushed. I mean, he didn't like crush, but he was like, yeah. He's like, I'm not going down without a fight. And I was like, yeah.
He's 21 now. We got to have him back. He
I
tried
know,
to come
dude.
to Joe's once.
Good for him. I'm so
Yeah.
happy. He's a sweet guy. He's a nice little boy.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I was saying, like I'm an easy target. I feel like for the roast, but it's like that's a good challenge, and I don't know. It seems fun. I'd like to do a suburbs one, but I don't know which. I guess I'd be
You have to find a
city
venue.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they have one that they do in Aurora or whatever.
Is that where
like,
SNF
Is
is?
that
Yeah.
going to be a regular thing?
I think
or
it
is that
is.
just a
So.
one-time
so.
thing?
I think they're gonna do it semi-consistently. I don't know. I'm trying to find a space out south for them to do it. So
yeah.
but it's just
That's
a matter
cool.
of finding it, you know.
But yeah, I was like, I don't know. Back to your act, like I feel like it's just it's like you have a thing kind of with like even just with those voices. Like I feel like it's I don't know, something that could trend. Like if it gets the right kind of like luck, like I could see it.
I know what you're saying for
Yeah,
sure.
it's something unique to you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a lot of.
True. Well,
you
because
know.
I've had people like say like, "Oh my God, you're doing a black scent." I'm like, dude, I'm not.
No.
Like, I'm not. Like, I genuinely view like the kids who I have who like inspire my bits, right? Like they are caricatures, you know what I mean? When I'm writing, so
Yeah.
like they're just goofier, right? And never do I do a black accent,
It's
right?
like an
But
expressive,
I'll
like-
say like I'll use AAVE because I'm like I'm not gonna whiteify my kids. You know? I'm not gonna gentrify how they sound to
Yeah.
me.
And they're
all
not
the
gonna
time.
whiteify
Right.
you. They give you the N-word pass.
Yeah, they make me
and-
sound. Actually, the way they do white people voices is probably one of the funniest. Dude, it makes me laugh every time because like I'll say something and they'll just be like, "Oh, for sure, Mr.
I
Donnick."
do
And
love,
You ever hit 'em with one
I do
back?
love black people's
do.
white people voice.
It was
I
so
love
funny,
it.
and they do it, dude. Because like they know I'm like goofy, but I'm like, man, they do it to me all the time,
Oh,
and I'm
wow.
like, you gotta stop.
Yeah, you can't call them out on it, or like you can't do it back
I
to
can't.
them.
They just do it, and I'm like, that's pretty accurate.
Uh-huh. I like Dave Chappelle's white voice or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he was the
They're
goat.
Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
good. But
No,
yeah,
I don't think you'll ever would. I was doing improv, and the thing was Obama, and so I did an Obama impression, and then people were like, afterwards, people were like,
Let's hear it.
they're like, you did Obama, and I was like, I didn't realize there was a cap on former presidents.
Nice.
It's a presidential impersonation.
I feel like I don't know an impression
Blackface
or whatever.
didn't
It's like
help Dan. Okay, you
Well,
should.
listen, that was
That's
that was
different.
makeshift. I just happened to have the shoe
I
polish
think
in my
the
pocket.
idea of Dan
all
in
I had
the
on me.
middle of an improv sketch saying "Hold up," he goes freeze, and then he puts on blackface.
yeah.
That's insane.
Really fast, but super accurately.
Yeah, it's super.
It's super even.
To,
He puts on the white gloves too, and he's like, "Guys, I was waiting for this moment."
No, I'm like working on a blackface bit right now, and it's just like what I need to do is write these bits and then cut out the part that's funny to me, and then it's like then I'll stay safe.
Yeah.
But it's like it's kind of
cut
funny
out
to
the part
me.
that's funny to you.
Yeah, 'cause it's like-
I gotta write it out and then make it not funny to me. and
Yeah, I
people
just
be
have
like,
to cut
"That's
off the
acceptable."
end where it's like it's
Well, someone actually tried to give me feedback on a joke actually on Monday,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
and I was like. I won't say. Well,
You could
basically,
say
he
it.
was like, he offered me an alternative punchline, and I was like, oh, I see a world where like that could work, but that's also not funny.
yeah.
like,
I just
that's
started thinking about
not
that.
funny. Like he was trying to change the tag of a joke, basically, and he
Yeah.
was like, instead of this word, use this word, and then I did it in my head, and I was like, that's less funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just nodding.
Which,
Say,
like-
oh, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Which like it's fine. I'll accept anyone's
It was
advice and play
Dan.
with it. You know what I mean? No, I'll never hate. But I was like, not for me right now. You know?
Was
Of
Dan the
course
one that
his-
gave you the
his is funnier.
suggestion?
It was
It was Dan.
It was Dan.
And it wasn't funny.
up?
I don't know. I was
Somebody got a
talking
haircut?
to Adam C. and like I don't know. He pointed something out in one of my jokes. Like he's like that part is funny, and I'm like, oh okay. So like, and then I just kind of realized like okay, so I'm never really evaluating if something's truly funny or not. I'm just kind of writing words and just going with the audience response. So now I'm trying to think, is this funny? So.
Yeah.
A year and a half into stand-up, it's good to start doing that now.
Are you really a year and a half in?
Yeah.
You've gotten so funny in the last year and a half.
Oh,
dude.
thank you, bro.
You have.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
That's
I
so
got a
funny.
good group around me. So
I was just looking in my journal. I bought my
Pussy.
journal.
Wait, did you say pussies?
Yeah.
diary.
I bought my joke diary.
No, that's better.
I bought it in 2019 when I started. I went to an Onion workshop, which was super cool. And I didn't actually start doing stand up in that spiral though until 2020, like June of 2020 or something like that. And I was like, no, June of 2021. So I was like, oh damn, I guess I have only like been returned to comedy like in the last 2 years maybe. And I don't know, I guess I kind of humbled myself on accident because I had this whole comedy life before the pandemic where I was like, oh, I'm like actually doing it. Like for 9 months, I was like going to mics literally every single night, like writing new material pretty much all the time and like actually meeting people and doing things. And then that all stopped. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm back at like square one, you know?
That's kind of like my buddy Jason. Like he's done comedy for 10 years, and he said like before the pandemic, there were a lot more people that he knew from just years of doing it, and then like they didn't come back after they moved or something. So then it's like almost like he's like rebuilding kind of like, but it's like I don't know. Now it's all these people that have done comedy for like a year that he's like they don't know him or know that he's funny. So it's just kind of like that's like I feel like the toughest part of the process I don't know. For me, at least, is like
Well, and the people that
not
are like
knowing.
interchanging, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It's like a revolver, like the social circle that you're in. Because like, I mean, Josh Ocean Thomas, right? Like he just opened for Tim.
Yeah,
Dillon,
that was
which
awesome,
is
dude.
insane,
Very
man.
Uh-huh.
And I
Very
like
cool.
literally until like maybe 7 months ago, I was like, I had no idea who the fuck he was.
Uh-huh.
No, maybe in the last like 30 days, I found out who he was.
started like
so
a
funny,
year
though.
and ago.
He
Who?
started a year ago, but he was also Josh Ocean
really?
Thomas.
Only
But
started like a
he
year.
I don't even
started
know who
at
that is,
the
yeah.
Comedy Store. So
Oh,
like
Jesus.
he's from California. So he was doing that California Comedy Store vibe for like a minute. So he's just a
That makes
guy who
sense.
knows the guy who
Uh-huh.
knows the guy who
Super
knows the
connected.
guy.
Yeah, and I heard that he just kind of just like messaged Tim Dillon and was like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And then it's like, "Sorry, roast battle," but then because he was supposed to go there or whatever
Yeah.
and didn't end up going, but like. I don't know.
Well, that's a
hustle
lesson
that I don't
into,
necessarily have.
like
Same.
reaching out because
Yeah.
he also very quickly into being in Chicago. He had a show at the Comedy Bar,
Uh-huh.
and so he was producing a show at the Comedy Bar. I guess he was just like, "Hey, can I do a show here?" And they're
Uh-huh.
like, "Sure."
Yeah.
He pitched it, and they said, "Yeah." Now he's running a show at the Comedy Bar, and then that grows into so many other things. And it's like, you know, if you just ask
Yeah.
It
more
is.
often, you may be surprised at
I
what
think,
you get.
I think it's the producing, right, that
Yeah.
like gets you super far
Yeah.
when you first start. Because like, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm literally just trying to find a space I could do a show because that's like the best way to meet people. Because a lot of times
Yeah.
people will reach out to you to do the show, and also like it's just a good like mechanism to bring the scene to you in
Yeah.
some way, right?
Yeah,
Because-
and you could pick, you know, you could book the comics that you like that maybe you don't know so well or that you know are good but you haven't met yet and be like,
Yeah.
hey, I'd like you to do my show.
Yeah,
And
true.
Do you think
It's like
that
an
like
excuse.
being a producer would be like a vital part of like would put somebody far ahead in the long run comparatively to not ever producing a show?
I think in terms of networking and making a little money, perhaps, right? I think
Let's say money aside.
money aside, I think in the long run, as long as you're kind of like hustling and doing stuff,
Like the
yeah.
networking is really where it's at with
But
that.
The networking's where it's at, and that's why because you ran a show, right? So I'm sure
Yeah.
you had 1,000 people all the time reach out to you to do the show at some point, right? Or at least like had interest in it, right?
Yeah, and there were, you know, people would ask, but it's like, I would say that it's all important. Like if you want to do comedy, like you should know how to do everything.
True.
You should
Yeah.
know how to
Right.
start a show and run a
It's
show
good
and
to have
book a show.
experience doing that
Yeah,
for sure.
and then if you end up, you know, you find out that, you know, you end up somewhere else, right?
Uh-huh.
You're not in Chicago, whatever happens, maybe you move to a town without
Right.
a whole lot of comedy, and then you're like, hey, you know what? I could build a scene here. I know how to do it. You know, you're comfortable in that, and you can start a
Yeah.
show anywhere, and you know,
Oh.
it's just, I think it's all
Yeah, they're just like that.
valid experience.
yeah, and it's like
This jank ass set,
Oh, okay.
dude.
These are only $400 each.
Yeah,
so.
you
Yeah.
just
and they're
see,
terrible.
Mark's thing is he pays a lot for very nice stuff and then breaks it.
so this is
It's
and
trash.
like, and
It's
then
not
like
even
just like on
sucks.
purpose, because like that's my image. My image is nice broken shit.
What are you
not
talking about,
nice
dude?
Shit.
That's amazing.
He loves
I don't give a
it.
fuck.
Wow, dude, you're so cool.
You're right.
He is.
So cool.
I wouldn't
dude.
disagree with that,
Yeah.
even one little bit.
That's funny.
Like,
Last
goddamn
time,
right.
Clip
last time we were here, what was that shot that we did? That was like really
The gay
sweet.
shot.
Oh yeah,
The gay
it was
Yeah, I
the
think he
rainbow
calls it the
shot.
gay
Was it
shot.
really?
yeah.
I believe so.
That
Yeah.
was tasty.
Yeah.
I was like,
I don't
dang.
know if John makes
I
them.
don't get why
Yeah, I think that's like a thing
That's
they
a
have
Micah
here.
thing.
I think,
Oh,
yeah.
it's a thing.
And they just have like a jug of it.
Yeah.
That checks out.
why is Rainbow gay? I feel like a gay guy. He wants a manly man,
Yeah.
not a rainbow.
I think it depends on the
Oh,
gay
dude,
guy.
I heard that one of the
Shouldn't
funniest
he like
jokes.
heavy metal?
I heard one of the funniest jokes last night. I forget who it was. I think he's a suburb comic though, and he goes, he's like, I think the pride flag, I think pride and Black Lives Matter have it like mixed up. He's like, I think the Black Lives Matter should have the rainbow flag because you know it includes everybody of all colors. And he goes, I think pride should have the fist because you know.
That was good.
Did you hit another mic last night after Taylor Street?
Yeah, I went to Sedgwick Stop.
Okay.
That was really nice.
new
To go, because I kind of ate dog shit at Taylor Street Tap, and
Yeah.
which was like fine. It doesn't, yeah. but
Well,
like,
no. I mean, like, cause like it was.
Sorry.
It's that kind of mic. Danny went up and.
Oh,
Danny went up before you.
Yeah,
and
Danny also
didn't-
ate shit.
Yeah, he ate shit and then he sat down. He's like, I was like, everybody's gonna do it. Don't worry, watch David. He's gonna do it too.
Yeah.
See, when I did Taylor Street that one time,
we all did it.
Before I went up, I saw Kai go up, and he just fucking killed at Taylor Street, and I was like, oh my god.
Sometimes, I mean, listen, it's
And I
always
did
a
it
good.
so bad.
That's the thing. When you do kill there, it feels great.
I was like,
It
wow.
feels
It
great.
feels great.
Because everybody
That's
was
why I
doing
like
bad.
it.
I didn't see you go up, but you said you did bad.
Yeah,
he did do bad.
I did really bad.
What is that
He
like?
did do bad.
What is that?
This was like a couple weeks ago, though. I also did really bad.
I've been going there.
You weren't there.
So when you do bad, what happens?
I think you just like.
Just kidding. I bomb a lot. I'm just kidding.
Wow,
What's
dude.
that like?
No.
How does
Yeah,
that feel?
I just crush
know what
all
it
the
feels
time.
like.
I think of all the times I've been to Taylor Street Tap, it's like a third. Like a third of the times I've crushed.
Yeah.
A third of the times I've bombed, and then like the other 1/3 of the time is just me figuring out new material and like actually getting a good read on like what's kind of working and what's
Yeah,
not. You
That's
know?
kind of funny. I feel like the last time I was there, like just thinking about it now, it's like I almost feel like I was still figuring out like how to do an open mic. Like I was well into it, but it was like a new place, so I was kind of just like, I don't know. I remember thinking just like, oh, what am I going to, almost being nervous for it. But then now it's just kind of like, it's like, I don't know. None of it matters.
Yeah,
like in
because like
like
that's the thing,
whatever.
is
Nothing
it is,
matters.
It is,
Yeah.
it is a room kind of like this one where it's
Yeah.
like there can be a lot going on, and like half the time when you bomb, it's not even you. It's just everybody decided to stop paying attention,
Yeah.
and you just can't bring the room back.
Getting like
you know?
drinks, and also like
Or they'll get-
over the summer the doors are open, so it's like you
Oh,
hear
yeah.
ambulances going by,
Cars coming through,
and it's
revving their
like-
engines.
It's pretty hard to
Yeah.
compete with a dude on a motorcycle. You know?
Yeah, it is.
People will,
No, yeah,
end
you're
of
right.
the night,
It
people will
definitely
start
is.
getting drunk and start getting chatty with you on stage, and you're just like, I'm just trying to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love that.
People try
I would
to
love
fight
that.
you, dude.
I would also love that.
You
People try
wanna
to
talk
fight
about
me.
that?
Oh my god!
A
Yeah,
guy tried
did
to fight you?
Did you hear about
Dude.
this? Did you hear about this? No, so
Oh, he
dude.
posted
Oh my
all
god!
over the
He
Chicago
posted
suburb
all over.
comedy scene.
Yeah, I don't.
Unhinged.
I think his name
Wait, a
is.
guy was posting about you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to
Dude,
fight
so,
David
okay, so
Dunn.
last Monday, I went to Taylor Street Tap, and me and Ryder Ali were rolling up, and I was like, "Hey, Ryder, can you just text Jeff to put us somewhere on the list since I'm like driving, and we'll be there like a little bit after it starts." He's like, "Yeah, for sure, dude." So we get there, and which by the way, we were like going, and Ryder was like, "Oh, I'm so sweaty," and I rolled down the windows. He's like, "Oh, you didn't have to do that, man." And I was like, "No, I don't want my car to smell, dude."
It's a win-win situation.
win-win.
Do you get a lot that you look like Trevor Wallace, by the way?
All the time. My
Okay.
kids call me that. My stupid students. They're not stupid. I mean, they're stupid for calling me dumb
I'm sorry,
names.
Mr.
but-
Wallace.
Yeah, basically. But so, okay, I get to the mic, right? And it's like me, Jess Messitano, Ryder, and like 4 other people. We all roll up at like the exact same time, you know, coincidentally. And we all go to the list. And I thought because Ryder had texted Jeff that Jeff just like wrote my name and Ryder's name also somewhere on the list. So I go to the list, I see David D, and I was like, oh, Jeff's trying to be like dumb. So I just filled in the rest of my last name. And then I went up like a couple of comics later. Turns out it was not David D that I filled in. It was Daniel D, and I just filled in Donnick after D. And this dude was
Honest mistake.
honest-
No, yeah, especially because like their handwriting probably wasn't
Right.
Oh,
the
yeah,
best.
it was some dog shit scribble
handwriting was
scratch.
terrible. And Jeff was like, dude, I would never write you down as David D. And I was like, okay, but I thought because there were so many comics who just went up to the list in the first place, you were just putting people's names somewhere on a piece of paper. And he was like, this dude went on stage and he's like, who's the fucking guy who thinks he's so funny making up this last name Donnick? And then
Ooh.
Kyron's there, and Kyron goes, it's him. And I'm like, dude, I'm like in the
Kyron
back
strikes
eating
again.
insomnia cookies, and I'm like, I got like half double chocolate chip mint like in my mouth. And I go, huh? And he's like, who's all this bullshit? He's like, you think you're fucking funny, dude? And I was like, I mean, a little,
Yeah.
but like not. I don't know what. I actually
What's
don't
going
know.
on here?
Yeah, I literally for the first like
What
6 minutes.
situation are we talking about?
Yeah,
Maybe.
for the 4
Dude.
minutes he was on stage, I had no idea what he was talking about, and he's like actually trying to square up with me. At some
He's
point, he
going
was like,
off. He's like, yo, you think you could fucking bully me because I'm new? You want to
Yeah.
bully me? I'll bully you. I'll fucking. He's like, you're fucking poor. You're fucking white. And you're poor. And
and
I
then-
fucking
You don't
hate
look
poor
poor
white
at all,
people.
by the
I
way.
know, dude. Tell me about it. I
Yeah,
mean,
you look very affluent.
Dude,
That's what
dude,
I'm
I'll
saying.
tell you, my favorite part. This guy's going off on nothing. It's like
Just
okay,
burning bridges.
Also, you get bumped on an open mic. Boo fucking who?
Now it's gonna
Yeah.
happen on purpose.
And
Yeah.
he's going off, and then like 3 minutes into it, he goes, And everybody's like, what the fuck? And he goes, all right, I'm going to do my material now. And everybody's just talking. They're like, David, what the fuck is going on? He's like, oh, now you guys are bad fucking audience members?
man.
Now you're not going to listen to my fucking material? And it's like,
Dude,
dude.
it's like you could just take that guy and
exploded
like.
the fucking
Dude,
room.
and then at some point he goes, you know, I actually had good things to say about you. And someone goes, who? And he goes, white people. And then immediately it was a fuck white people. Fuck white people.
I would have joined in on that chance.
And everything.
The guy was black.
No, he was
No.
a white. He was Mexican. Because he said,
That'd be a weird thing
I'll
for a
take
white
your
guy to say.
stupid ass. I'll treat you like a real Mexican out front. I'll put you in the dirt. And I was like, there's concrete everywhere, dude. I was like, what are you talking about?
Your people laid it down.
Dude, and then he was like getting ready to leave, and he came back by me, and I was like, oh, now is he like actually gonna fight me? And he was grabbing his jacket, and he like looked me up and down, and he goes, you're barely 120 pounds. Fuck you, dude. And I was
You're
like,
like 125.
He's
dude.
like, I was like, he thinks I'm skinny.
Yeah.
What?
Thank you for
Yeah,
the. That's
I'm
nice.
actually like 160. So.
I'm not gonna lie, I
Yeah.
would have loved to see that whole like altercation.
me
You
too.
can because he posted it on the Chicago Suburb Comedy Scene
That's
page.
awesome.
He might have deleted it, but
If it's up-
no, he
if it's
didn't.
up, we
He
should
posted
react to it on the
entire
podcast.
clip.
We should react to it for a
did he
video.
film it?
He filmed
Yeah.
it
Oh.
and then
React to
he,
it?
he
My
posted 2
God.
days later.
Not
2
right
days
now,
later,
but,
he
like,
posted.
react to it.
Yeah.
He posted.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna show you guys how to deal with fucking bullies in the comedy scene. Just wait, clip
Oh.
coming, and then 2 days after that, he posted this long diatribe
Dude.
and the entire clip.
Shout out Wild Phil. Wild Phil screen grabbed
Nice.
this before he deleted it, and it's just his post, and it says, "I'm so." Do you want to read that out loud for everybody?
Yeah.
Thank you, Wild
I'm so
Phil.
happy I took a shit on your bitch ass. No matter how new I am, I won't let cunts like you bully me. Luckily, I recorded my set and will upload it soon.
And then it's, and
Oh
then it's
my
just a
God.
screenshot of my Instagram. So
He's a
I'm like,
stand-up
clout?
Didn't
heckler.
even tag you. What a pussy.
Clout?
That is
But,
wild,
I think we
dude.
got to get to about landing this plane. It's fantastic to end it on
We
that.
do.
We are going to
This
kill
is
that
funny.
we
guy.
just 9/11 this podcast.
Yes.
We should, if we ever, what's his name? Because we're going to bump him every time.
I
It's
think
Daniel D.
Say something.
Daniel D. Okay.
Yeah,
Danny
something.
D.
You're
dude.
getting bumped, guys. This has been the Jerks Podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening,
Thank
everyone.
Thank you
We love you
all.
guys.
Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow.